guys, and we are back again with what went down in WWE this week with Raw, Smackdown, and my favorite show on TV. You guessed it, the all promising NXT. So Raw started out with the main event, Jey Uso coming out to an immense pop with the crowd rolling over his victory in the past Royal Rumble. The same thing happened on SmackDown, but we will get to that later. The man is really living in the moment and thanked his fan for the immense support he's received following his Rumble victory. He then played with the idea of going up against Cody and the King General, with the latter walking down the ring to remind Uso on the thrashing he's received back on Saturday night main event. The promo was genuine, and at point, Gunther even compared Jey to a diseased dog. With the challenger being so over with the crowd, it will be interesting to see who will pick as his WrestleMania opponent. Will it be Gunther or would it be Cody? I guess we'll need to wait just a little bit more. Moving on to Charlotte Flair, who is also toying with her opponents. She met with all three champs, Mami on Raw, Julia on NXT, and then Tiffy on SmackDown. Calling Rhea a kid and Tiffy a child, Charlotte is in the league of her own when she gets going. A total opposite of Jey, who's still a novice on the mic. A natural heel, Flair versus Tartan, would be an obvious choice considering Tiffy still needs to prove her worth as the WWE Undisputed Champion. Charlotte versus Rhea though, well, that's also enticing. Most of the Raw and SmackDown was layered with Elimination Chamber qualifiers, with Liv Morgan being the first to qualify for the Women's Chamber match, with of course help from her enforcer Raquel Rodriguez. With the help of Raquel, Liv cleverly took out both Io Sky and Rhea Ripley backstage, allowing Liv the advantage in the matchup later that night. Rhea did return to the ring later to even the odds against Liv and Raquel. But it wasn't enough as Liv Morgan stole the win, leaving a red-faced Io Sky and Rhea Ripley in the ring. Is this building towards Rhea versus Io at WrestleMania? Well, I guess it's all up in the air right now. Sami Zayn and CM Punk was the main event on Raw, with the winner joining John Cena in the Elimination Chamber happening in Toronto. Seth Rollins cut a promo, though I wasn't sure what he was trying to do, add fuel to his feud with Punk or motivate Sami Zayn to lose the match. Nevertheless, Sami couldn't turn things around and reach the chamber, with CM Punk getting a clean win this time around. The highlight though wasn't the match but the attack by KO post-match on Sami, with his t-shirt Sami Zayn Forever stinging even harder with each shot he took. Owen snapped, but him versus Sami again? I mean sure, but let's not take this to Vegas. NXT was up next, and I have been eagerly waiting to see what direction the new NXT champion Obafemi would take, especially with Trick Williams around the corner. And the show started out with Stephanie Vaquer going up against JC Jane, with the former getting an easy victory in the end. We saw Fandango return to NXT to challenge for the Heritage Cup, but it was the showdown between NXT champion Julia, Roxanne Perez and Bayley that stole the show, with their promo building up the stakes for NXT Vengeance Day. What was interesting to see was the dynamic between the Prodigy and the longest reigning champion in history. And like I said before, the women's division in NXT is pure fire. The match next between Kelani Jordan and Carmen Petrovic was where Kelani's aggression snapped past 11 and she went through with the submission even after the bell had sounded, directing her anger and frustration to prove herself as a worthy champion to Parker, who was at ringside commenting on the match. Interestingly, we haven't seen this piece on the North American champion, and I am wondering if this is foreshadowing a possible heel turn. It's all on stake come Vengeance Day. Coming to Smackdown, Jey Uso returned to the ring, teaming up with Cody Rhodes to take on the Watermains of the new bloodline, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. Bianca Belair qualified for the chamber by beating Piper along with Alexa Bliss, who finally made her return to the ring and defeated Candice LeRae to become the third woman in the Women's Elimination Chamber match. Interestingly, we had a triple threat chamber qualifier between LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and the Big Jim. And I felt this was the night when Jimmy would qualify and leave his mark on the chamber. But alas, that wasn't the case as Drew McIntyre grabbed the win, hitting the Claymore on LA Knight and pinning him down cleanly. In what was a hard-fought encounter, I think Drew vs. Demon is on the menu with the latter in action next week against the monster Braun Strowman and the Samoan werewolf Jacob Fatu. If he qualifies, it will be interesting to see them go toe-to-toe in the chamber. Which brings us to the main event where Cody Rhodes pinned Tama Tonga while Jay took out Jacob on the ringside. Just like Raw, we saw Solo Sikoa make his return to the ring, taking out Cody with the Samoan spike and leaving him battered in the ring. A big week on the road to Elimination Chamber and more rivalries in the midst means the coming week should set up what we'll see come WrestleMania. Stick with me on this journey while we uncover everything happening here in WWE. And there we go, folks. My thoughts on the week in review on what went down on Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. If you have any thoughts or opinions, feel free to share them below in comments. Until next time, this is Movie Medusa signing off.